Greetings to all you folks out there in the interwebs, and welcome to another episode of Bus Thoughts with Brother Beard. Hi, I'm Brother Beard, and as you can see, that would be my school bus. On this show, I want to take just a few minutes and share some of the things that I think about as I'm driving my bus every day. And right now, what I'm thinking about is how when I was on my route a little while ago, I was sitting at a red light. And I was sitting in the right-hand lane, and I had my blinker on, getting ready to turn right, but the light was red. And I had a person behind me who was honking their horn. Now, it could have been they just wanted to say good morning, but most likely they were frustrated with me because I was not turning right, even though there was no traffic coming. And here's something that a lot of folks don't know about school buses, is that even though we have a lot of the same rules that we have to follow as a normal driver does, there are some rules that we have that are different. For example, we can't turn right on red unless there is a dedicated turn lane. That's why when you come up to a red light and there's a school bus sitting there and he's got his blinker on and he's not turning, it's because he's not supposed to. Of course, some of the other rules that you probably are aware of is buses stopping at railroad crossings. Have to stop. Have the flashers on, open the door, open the window, look both ways. We have to be very careful when crossing the train tracks. And then here's another one that folks don't know about. Buses, when they are carrying students on their bus routes to and from school, not supposed to go above 45 miles an hour. Now, these are not just good practices or things that you should do. These are actually laws that buses have to follow. And those laws are obviously much different than the laws that govern regular vehicle drivers. And that made me think about us as Christians, how there are different rules, there are different laws that we follow that govern our lives. Things that non-Christians do, they can do all day long and not seem to have any ill will or anything bad happen to them, but those same things can be detrimental to the life of a Christian, because we are trying to live lives that honor God. We're trying to live lives that bring us closer to God, and living a life that honors ourselves or honors somebody other than God, it just doesn't work. It takes us away from God. It leads us towards sin, and it just never turns out right. Now, as beings with free will, and as a Christian, you have just as much free will as a non-Christian does, but those things that we can do, maybe we shouldn't do those things. In the book of 1 Corinthians, Paul is kind of talking about this. And of course, Paul, he was a Pharisee's Pharisee. He knew the biblical law backwards, forwards, and sideways. He was also a Roman citizen. He knew the Roman law. And so he had a very good grasp on these things. In the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 10, verse 23, he tells the church at Corinth, all things are lawful, but not all things are profitable. All things are lawful, but not all things edifying. Basically, for Christians, we have a different set of laws that govern us. Now, we can do all those things. We can go out and we can live the same lives as non-Christians. We can make the same choices. We can do all of those things, but doing those things is not going to be profitable for us. It's not going to build us not up. It's not going to increase the value of our life in any way, even though at the time it may look good, it may feel good, it might even appear to be good. But anything that goes against the will of God and anything that takes us away from a closer relationship with Him is ultimately going to lead to failure and to destruction, even something that seems good on the surface. As I've told you before, the devil's sneaky. He's going to dress up sin and dress up things that look good and sound good, smell good, taste good, but are ultimately destructive to us as Christians because it takes us away from the will of God. And so I just want to hopefully help you think today about the choices that you make, about the places you go, the words that come out of your mouth, the things that go into your body. Not just food, but the things that you consume, whether it be movies or music or those influences, they change us. they make an impact and they make a difference on the way that we think and on the way that we live. As my old youth minister was a fan of saying, garbage in, garbage out. If you're not putting anything profitable, anything that is edifying into your system, the Word of God through reading the Bible, time with prayer, listening to music that glorifies God. If you're doing the opposite, well, you're going to get those things coming out. You can't possibly hope to live a life that honors God if you're not doing things that honor God. And so even though we have every right and we have every ability to make any choice we want and we can do anything that we want to do, we have to be careful because some of those choices are not going to be profitable. In fact, they're going to be destructive, and they're going to take us into places that we don't want to go, and they will have far-reaching consequences that we certainly don't want to have to deal with. And so just be careful with the choices that you make as you're running up and down the road of life, and just remember that our goal is more than temporary enjoyment. Our goal is more than getting through today. Our goal is eternal because we worship a God who is eternal. And hey, the good news is you don't have to make these choices on your own. As you spend time with God, you learn Him more, you get closer to Him. He will show you, He will help you to make those good decisions, those decisions that will be profitable, those decisions that will be edifying not only to Him, but to us as well. I really hope you folks have a great day. Look forward to seeing y'all again real soon. Love you. Take care.